Hey everyone, Kevin here. In this video, I'm going to break down a new proposal by Republicans that would offer $450 per week. This is very interesting because right now we know that Democrats have proposed a $3 trillion stimulus package in the House of Representatives. And that package has sort of been delivered over to the Senate, and the Senate's kind of like, yeah, we're gonna wait and see on this. You know, only half of the stimulus money so far has been spent. Let's kind of wait and see what we need to do and where we need to spend money, if we even need to spend money. And that's created a lot of frustration for a lot of us because a lot of us need additional support. And we kind of feel a little disconnected from Congress because, yeah, the stock market might be doing well, but a lot of us aren't. And so this is where Senator Portman has come up with a proposal. He's a Republican, which that's where the eyes are, right? Not only are our eyes in the Senate, but our eyes are specifically on Republicans who control the Senate and, of course, the presidency. And Senator Portman had a 27-minute speech sort of introducing this plan. And I'm going to give you a brief overview so you don't have to go through 27 minutes because even on 2x speed, it's kind of hard to get through Congress people talking. So let's give you the simple scoop of what we know and what we don't know. All right, here we go. Here's what we know right now. We know that most states pay an average of about $200 in unemployment pay. And the federal government tends to boost that with the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, right? The $600 per week boost. This ends on July 31st. However, this has incentivized a lot of people to collect $800+ per week without having to work. And that's created a bit of a struggle because if you're like, well, if I go back to work, I'm gonna make less money. In fact, if you work 40 hours a week at $12 an hour, you would make $480. It's like, wait a minute, would I rather get $800 on average about doing nothing or $480 working full time? That doesn't make sense. And it's logical. You can't blame anybody for saying like, I'm not going back to work. You can't blame anybody. And so this is what Senator Portman realizes as well. And he says, okay, what if we say this? If you go back to work, we will give you a boost of $450 per week. In his opinion, this is good because it means it would save states having to pay their unemployment pay, and it would also reduce what the government pays from $600 to $450. But there are some problems with this proposal. Take a look at just what simple math looks like. First of all, if we say, wait a minute, if I'm getting paid $200 plus $600, that's $800. Senator Portman, you're proposing $450 per week as a boost for working again. Well, that's $930 in a state that pays me $200 in state pay. Some states pay $300, some states pay $400, some states pay $500. I'd still be getting paid more on unemployment than going back to work. And so this is sort of one of the initial criticisms that I have for this bill. He suggests that this would be a way to motivate folks to go back to work. But let's take a little bit of a deeper look into the spirit of what he's going for here and how this might actually work and how this might be something that could apply to everybody. So here's the thing. Senator Portman suggests, hey, this is good because instead of incentivizing people not to work, people are going to be able to go back to work and get paid more for doing so. Which in Senator Portman's speech, he points out that the American Action Forum and the University of Chicago said that between 60 and 70% of people on unemployment are making more money than they did when they were working. And so that's why he proposes something called a back to work bonus, a program where you let people take some of that $600 with them to work. I propose $450 a week. Now, there are a few problems beyond the math that we just did here. The first problem is, what about people who have already gone back to work? Or what about people who never stopped working? This should be, if we're going to have a back to work bonus, which sounds eerily similar to back to school, which makes me want to vomit on the inside, and make sure I've signed up for life insurance because it's giving me heart palpitations, which if you too want to sign up for for life insurance, you could do so by going to the link down below and signing up for life insurance. You could probably do it before this video is over. You could also get 2 free stocks with Webull when you deposit $100 $1,500, you get 2 free stocks worth up to $1,400. Check out those links down below. But here are the problems with this and some of the unanswered questions. These are answers that we do not have right now in this proposal. I do like the idea of incentivizing us as Americans to go back to work. I also like the idea of a simple, here you go, here's $450 extra per week. Just please go back to work. That's so much more simple than a complicated tax credit, or here's an educational tax credit, or here's a proposal for some people but not others. Just make it simple. You know what? Make this so simple. This has potential if it's simple. Make it so simple and just say, look, if you go back to work, you get $450 a week. We don't even care if you were on unemployment or not. Just go back to work and we'll pay you. Now, obviously, that should be subject to some kind of income limitations so millionaires don't get it, or, high net worth real estate investors or whatever. But in my opinion, you shouldn't have had to have been on the unemployment program to be able to get this extra $450. That's not fair because, think about it. A grocery store worker working for $12 an hour versus the guy working for $12 an hour at Hollister. The grocery store worker who continues to work and the Hollister dude who goes back to work, the Hollister guy would get an extra $450 and the grocery store worker wouldn't. That doesn't make sense, right? That would not be okay. In my opinion, everybody should get this back to work money. And also, it should last longer than just July 31st, which is when the $600 of pandemic unemployment assistance program sort of boost ends. If that extra $450 ends on July 31st, it's kind of like, that's kind of coming up soon. It's nice. It would definitely get people going back to work here in the month of June and July, which is good. That'd be 8 weeks at $450, which, you can't get mad at that. 8 weeks at $450, 8 times $450, it's $3,600 of stimulus if you go back to work. Now, this does rip off people who don't work. This isn't good for people who are on, let's say, retired Social Security benefits or disability benefits, but it maybe would be a way to incentivize people to have a side hustle, or at least it gets the economy moving again, and maybe there would have to be some kind of other stimulus for folks who are retired or on disability. Obviously, if you're on disability, I'm not suggesting you go out and drive Uber, but this is an interesting proposal. We don't yet have all of the details, so I have to be careful coming out strong and criticizing it, and we don't know if it's going to get picked up, but I have to say, this is one of the better proposals we've seen so far. Just make it very simple, give people X more dollars to go back to work. Not bad. I like this proposal overall. It needs some fine-tuning and refining, but I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. I hope you appreciated my reporting on this and sort of the details we brought. If you'd like to know more information, I'll go ahead and link this crazy PDF with all my scribbles and drawings all over it. That way you're not just getting a blank piece of paper with kind of all this black and white text. I'll actually give you all my highlighting and all of my little notes on it. So I'll link that down below. Remember, while you're down there, get your 2 free stocks with Webull, get your life insurance, and check out my programs. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing, and we will see you next time.